Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Mind of Minister, a podcast recorded here at the Seattle Betsuing Buddhist Temple, where we discuss questions and topics submitted by our listeners. My name is Jason Yokoyama, and I'm here with the star of our show, Rev Katsu.
Hi, everyone.
So, today, Sensei, I brought us some Japanese beer.
Okay.
Well, I brought us some Kirin Ichiban.
Oh, that's good.
It's good.
Is one of my father's favorite beer.
But it's not your favorite?
I like Kirin too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, but what's your favorite? For next time.
Okay. I think about it.
Okay. Sensei, we'll think about it. But the reason that I brought Kirin beer is because, I guess, of a rumor that I've heard that the Kirin logo is from the Karamon Gate at Nishihonganji. So at our mother temple in Kyoto, there's this very famous gate that has images of mythical creatures, animals on it, and one of them is the Kirin, which a Kirin, if you don't know, is a mythical Chinese creature. Most people probably know about it from that one Harry Potter movie. But in Japanese, I guess it's modern Japanese, the translation for giraffe, which isn't exactly true. But
yeah,
this Kirin creature is said to have come from a gate at our mother temple. And something that I learned very recently is that in the Kirin's mane, I guess the mane, it actually is katakana Kirin that's hidden.
Yeah. I knew about that.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just learned about that today. But hi, let's have some Kirin beer.
Okay.
The other fun bit of information that Sensei just told me was that
Okay, thank you.
Was that the JAL, the JAL, Japan Airlines logo, the crane, the Sudu, is may be also from Honganji.
Wow, that's I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but yeah, I heard about that too. Yeah, maybe true. Yeah.
So, Kirin beer or JL, if you would like to sponsor Mind of Minister, please let us know. But anyways, today I thought we'd talk about the Pure Land. Okay. And so we've talked about this before on our podcast where, Joro Shinshu means true Pure Land, Buddhism. But I think a question that maybe a lot of people have is, what is the Pure Land?
So Pure Land, I could say Buddha's land. So that's a maybe easiest translation, I think. Yeah.
Amida Buddha's land.
Amida Buddha. Well, the Pure Land is technical term or general term of Buddha's land. So then in Japanese, Gokuraku Jodo, Gokuraku, if we say Gokuraku, it is the Amida Buddha's Pure Land.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. And I guess in commonality, when we talk about the Pure Land in Joro Shinshu, it's, where we go when we pass away. Mm-hmm. And so the first question that we have today from one of our listeners is, really, where do we go when we pass away? What is it like in the Pure Land, and is that our final destination?
Okay, so maybe first, it is true, our doctrine, our teaching says once our life ends, we are born into the Amida Buddha's Pure Land. So, but sometimes, it is true, when our life ends, when we die, we are born into the Pure Land. But Pure Land is not only for after we pass away. Maybe Pure Land, maybe there are so many different ways of understanding of what Pure Land is. But one understanding of Pure Land is kind of training center.
Trainings?
Yeah, Pure Land is Amida Buddha's Pure Land is a training center to become Buddha. We have a training there to attain enlightenment. We have a practice because, one understanding of Buddhism is, just like a Shakyamuni Buddha. Shakyamuni Buddha did meditation and lots of practices. Then he attained enlightenment in this world. So lots of people try to follow how he attained enlightenment in this world. People try to attain enlightenment in this world. But, some people start thinking, this world, so many things are happening. It is not an ideal place to practice, to attain enlightenment. So we need to go to another place to practice and study Buddhism. Then the Pure Land is the teaching of Pure Land became more popular.
Mm-hmm.
So because this world, human world, is not ideal place to do the Buddhist practice, accomplish the Buddhist practice, so we better go to the Pure Land first, Buddha's land first. Then we complete the practice. Then we attain enlightenment. That's a more general understanding of the Pure Land. But Jodo Shinshu is a true Pure Land Buddhism. This means once we are born in the Pure Land, then it takes some time to complete the practice, fulfill the practice to attain enlightenment. But our Jodo Shinshu teaching is a little bit different because this is the fulfilled land. Amida Buddha created this Pure Land. That's why everything is ready for me to attain enlightenment. Once we born into birth in the Pure Land and attaining enlightenment there's no time difference. So we are born into Pure Land and right away we attain enlightenment. So that's the Jodo Shinshu, our teaching.
So as opposed to other types of Buddhism, that's like the Pure Land is a place where you practice to become a Buddha.
Right.
You fulfill difficult practice, I guess you would say.
Yeah, higher practice.
Yeah, based on like literature. And Jodo Shinshu, once we're born into the Pure Land, everything is fulfilled and we become enlightened beings. We become Buddhas.
Yeah. Do you want to go to Pure Land?
I mean, if it's based on what we talk about, it sounds like that if I go to the Pure Land, I die. So maybe not yet, but one day, let's go to the Pure Land. And so I think if we think about, I guess the right word is maybe Buddhist like cosmology, there's people that are familiar with other sects of Buddhism and sort of like what goes on. There's like Buddhist realms of existence. And so is the Pure Land one of those realms of existence, or is that sort of outside of?
Oh, this is outside. In Buddhist, one understanding is there's a 6 realms of reincarnation.
Mm-hmm.
So heaven, the realm of heaven, the warriors, human beings, hungry ghost, animal beast, and hell. So according to ancient Indian understanding, people reincarnate in these 6 realms over and over again. So based on the previous lives, how they did, they are reborn to one of these 6 realms. But, as long as they are in this reincarnation system, they are still living in a realm of suffering.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow, we have to be freed from these 6 realms. That's what we call attaining enlightenment. That is an initial goal of Buddhism. Attaining enlightenment means we are freed from this reincarnation. That's a Buddhist goal.
Oh, and so the Pure Land exists outside of that.
Outside of that.
Because when we're born into the Pure Land and we become enlightened beings,
right,
we are freed from sort of the realms of existence, per se. Because I've always been curious about, that's much more Theravadan or, older school Buddhism practice or, thought, and not so much like Jodo Shinshu. So I've always been curious about how the Jodo Shinshu and the Pure Land relates to all those practices.
Okay.
And so I guess another question would be, we have sutras that sort of teach us about the Pure Land and what it's like there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's very interesting, right? Because the sutra, we all have golden skin. Like if you actually read
Yeah,
what the sutra says,
yeah,
but everyone's equal.
yeah. It is really, there's some teachings like, let's say, Raja Sutra is really clear definition of aspect of Buddhism was written in the sutra. So, do you like to eat?
Yeah,
You like?
of course. I like to eat.
So, this almost a dinner time now. So maybe we may be thinking about, what do we want to eat for dinner? So then we may choose, go to the grocery shop to buy some groceries to cook for today's dinner, or go to the restaurant to get something to eat. Pure Land, according to the sutra, let's say I want to eat hamburger. Hamburger is already ready to eat. Hamburger appeared in front of you. If you think, oh, today I want to drink something like a beer, then, right away, beer comes. So whatever you want, the food is ready. So that's one definition. It is really interesting. But, the next sentence, it says, you don't have to eat this. Even just you think you are already satisfied. So that's why you don't have to eat actual food. It is really interesting, right?
Yeah, I guess. Well, I haven't read that many sutras.
Yeah.
But that is interesting that it's...
Then another sentence, it's the definition. It says, do you like onsen?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Onsen is a hot spring, bath. In Japan, it is so popular. Lots of people go to onsen, hot springs during the vacation. So then the Pure Land definition, it says, if I want to have the hot water up to my shoulder level, the water levels comes up here. Well, today maybe only the legs, the water levels go down to the legs. So whatever I want to take the bath, the water level changes. That's also says in the sutra. Wow. So, but we have to think why these definitions are written in the sutra. So to me, as I mentioned, the Pure Land is perfectly prepared, ready for us to attain enlightenment, which means we have no worry about other things. Then when we think about this world, food is one issue. Everyone has the worried, right? So, sometimes we, even the Seattle Betsu Buddhist Temple, also sometimes making a food drive. They're making a donation to the homeless people or person who cannot afford to buy the food. Then when we think about other countries, sometimes because of the weather changes, they cannot have enough food. So then after that, people sometimes, fight against because of lack of the food, or people suffer from lack of food. At the same time, especially developed country like a US or Japan, sometimes food waste, we have too much food. Then we eat too much. Then gain weight too much. That is one issue. So, but in the Pure Land, this is my appreciation. No one talked about this before. This is my interpretation, but in the Pure Land, we don't have to worry about diet. We don't have to worry about lack of food. We don't have to worry about wasting food. Everything is ready as a right amount, or everything is right. So that's one thing. Then the water, also the same, sometimes even in the United States, California especially, sometimes every summer, because of the probably climate changes, the temperature is go up high and high, not so much rain. Then every year, one big issue is they don't have enough water. Probably here in the Washington, state of Washington too. Some of the area has, hopefully Seattle has not so much serious problem of lack of water, but some areas maybe having some difficulties getting enough water. But this is my appreciation, but in the Pure Land, I don't have to worry about water. They have enough water. So when I reading the definition, aspect of the Pure Land in the Sutra, this is my appreciation. So you don't have to worry about food. You don't have to worry about your health. You don't have to worry about water. You don't have to worry about climate. So just focus on Buddha Dharma. Just focus on attaining enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my appreciation of the definition of the Pure Land.
So like listening to all this, I think, in America, in a very, I guess, more like Western religion environment, the most common connection people would make is that the Pure Land is kind of like Buddhist heaven. And do you think do you agree with that statement? Is that true or is it different?
Buddhist heaven.
Yeah.
Heaven.
Right. Would you say that the Pure Land is kind of like our heaven? Or
probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to study what heaven is first, but because Pure Land is not, especially in the Jodo Shinshu understanding, of course, we are saying this is the final destination, but we are, what we have to think, what do we attain enlightenment? Is this the real goal? It is a real goal, but there's not the end of the goal, end of our life.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't stay in the Pure Land all the time. Our teaching, it says, once we attain enlightenment in the Pure Land, don't stay there, come back to this world, then guide other people, those who are still suffering. So in this way, go to the Pure Land, they attain enlightenment, the right way. We have to come back to this world to guiding other people. So the ultimate goal of Buddhism is helping other people.
Mm-hmm.
So helping other people, guiding other people. So that's why I don't know what heaven means. Once we are born into the heaven, if it is the place where people stay there forever, probably that's not true. That's not Pure Land. So Pure Land is our home, spiritual home, but always we come back to this world and guide others. Then we can always go back to our home all the time, anytime, but those who are once born into Pure Land, taking the different form, then guiding other people.
Yeah, because I think this is the thing that I've always thought about, growing up at the temple, going to Dharma school, our version of Sunday school, and hearing things is you have some maybe ministers or people will say, the Pure Land is empty. People go to the Pure Land, they are born in the Pure Land, they become enlightened beings, and then they come back to this realm, this world, to guide other people so that they can go to the Pure Land and then help more people. And then we go to the Pure Land together once everybody is,
right,
I guess saved is the closest word. But then you have other people that say, Ba-chan, Ji-chan, grandma, grandpa, they pass away. You'll see them again in the Pure Land. And so, Sensei, what do you think? Do you think that when we go to the Pure Land, we'll see, Ba-chan again? Or has Ba-chan already come back to help guide us in some different form?
We can understand either way. That's fine. That's Pure Land has beyond our conceptions. Beyond our conceptions. people understand, our ba-chan, our grandmother, grandfather, those who passed away before us are waiting for us in the Pure Land. So that's also guiding us to the Pure Land too. Our grandmother, grandfather is, guiding us to walk this path to the Pure Land. They're waving their hand, come, from Pure Land, calling us. So then we meet there. That's also great appreciation, understanding of Buddhism. But at the same time, as you are saying, our loved one who passed away before us and now here is then we are guiding me, they walk in the same path to the Pure Land. That's also great interpretation of the Pure Land teaching. So, that's beyond our conceptions. We can be more flexible, open eyes to appreciate the Pure Land teachings.
It's interesting. And the other thing that I think, whenever I think about the Pure Land, it reminds me of a Dharma talk that Reverend Kodani gave many years ago, where he talked about, in a sort of Christian aspect of heaven, when you die, when you pass away, your soul is what goes to heaven, and then, I think you're judged first, and then hopefully you go to heaven, in my understanding. I'm not super great in other religions, I'm sorry. But Reverend Kodani was mentioning that, the concept of a soul, that's something unchanging, that's inherently you, that passes on and it lives on forever, is not exactly well represented in Buddhism, because it is contradictory to the Buddhist teaching of impermanence, that everything is always changing. One of the lessons that we talk about a lot in our Dharma talks and something that we speak about at our temples. And so when we pass away and we're cremated, what is really going to the Pure Land?
That's a good question.
It's very complex. We got real deep on the podcast.
Do I have to answer that question?
Well, if you don't want.
I would say my life, or myself. My life or myself are born into the Pure Land. So that's an answer I say. I don't know the definition of my life or, myself, but myself, my life is going to be born into the Pure Land.
Interesting. I mean, it sounds like this is a very complex topic.
Yes.
And we could probably talk about this for a long time.
Yeah, good idea to ask some other guest ministers to come to ask these questions.
We're going to have
Usually, in Buddhist teaching, we don't use a term of spirit. So rather than using the spirit, maybe I usually use my life or myself.
Now that you mention it, I do think most people, they talk about their life, their self.
Yeah.
Right? They don't say my spirit, my soul. That's interesting. But I do think we could talk for a long time about this. This is a very complex topic. And we do appreciate the questions that we get about the Pure Land. And so I guess really to summarize what I guess we've been talking about is the Pure Land is a transitionary state, a place we aspire for birth to become enlightened. But then, our goal is to help people.
Right.
And so we come back. And so maybe the Pure Land is empty.
Yeah, possibly. Or lots of Buddhas or Bodhisattvas, our loved ones, are there already there.
Yeah.
Waiting for us. Come.
I guess we won't know until we go there.
Well, we that's a, maybe ritual. We listen their voiceless voice. Yeah, that's important. Open our eyes. That's why I'm saying Pure Land is beyond our conceptions. Maybe sometimes we shouldn't limit Pure Land in our conceptions. Pure Land is beyond our conceptions. So that's maybe we have to know.
That's a good point. Well, let's all go to the Pure Land.
Yeah, let's go to the Pure Land.
Together. Well, I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Sensei, this was a very difficult topic. I think I would say this is probably one of the most sort of difficult topics and questions we've gotten on our podcast to date. It's good.
Good discussion.
Yes. Please keep the questions coming. Once again, thank you to our producer, Alex, for running our cameras and sound. And thank you to all of our listeners. We do hope that you enjoy everything that we're putting out. Please submit us questions so we can keep talking. I'll be honest, we're running a little short on questions. But I am very excited for our next episode because right now we're filming at the beginning of June. And next month, we'll be celebrating our temple's Obon, our Bonodori festival. And so our next podcast is going to be about the meaning behind the Bon festival,
Okay.
which is my favorite holiday of all of our Buddhist holidays. It might be actually one of my favorite holidays in general. Like, I know we observe and celebrate Christmas, but I do love Obon season. Another fun fact is, if you would like to try kidding beer like Sensei and I are drinking, please come to our Bonodori festival here at the temple, July 20th and 21st. Right? And come to our beer garden where we'll be serving kidding beer and have live music from 2 Stories Ori. It's going to be a really fun time. And if you would like more information about our podcast, our questions, or about the Seattle Bonodori, please visit our website, seattlebetsuing.com. And once again, I'm Jason.
I'm Rev Katsu.
And thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.